Oh no, not another Edinburgh Christmas Market video. But they are, after all, incredibly popular, aren't they? Now, sometimes I wonder why. I mean, let's face it, every single Christmas market, wherever you go in the world, whether it's Edinburgh, London, Prague or Paris, it's always the German style, isn't it? The German style huts, the bratwurst sausages, the overpriced drinks, the overpriced food. And yet people flock to them from miles and miles around, and they're always packed to the rafters. So maybe I'm missing something. How about we go and have a wander around this year's Edinburgh Market and see what makes them so popular? Okay, let's start here in Princes Street Gardens near the Scott Monument, and they hit you straight away with some of the most terrifying thrill rides of all. Top tip, definitely don't have a bratwurst sausage before you go on Techno Power. And for the first time since before the pandemic, the Star Flyer is back here at the Edinburgh Christmas Market, but this time it's back and it's bigger. This is the Star Flyer Around the World XXL. Now, the Scott Monument, which is just beside the Star Flyer, is 61 metres tall, and this Star Flyer is 80 metres tall. 80 metres tall. That's 80 metres of good reason not to go on it. But I imagine the views from the top are absolutely spectacular. Unfortunately, I just haven't got the stomach for it. Well, if you are up for it, a ride on the Star Flyer will cost you £12. Much more my style. A Helter Skelter, and a special Helter Skelter at that. This one's got a bar in its basement. Of course, I've come at lunchtime. It's an absolutely gorgeous day, but the Christmas market does look good at night when it's all lit up. But the advantage of coming at lunchtime during the week is it's not quite as rammed with people, and you get a better chance of actually having a walk around and seeing what's on offer. Okay, let's try some of that overpriced food, shall we? Crepes and waffles, £6.50. Or if you prefer a pie, actually, you know, I recognise some of these food trucks from out and about in East Lothian. Street burger food truck, £8.50 for a burger. Oh, they sound good, don't they? Yorkshire pudding wraps. You know, I really fancy one of those Yorkshire pudding wraps, but seriously, 14 quid? Are they that good? Well, I succumbed to it. I'm hungry, so I got myself one of those Yorkshire pudding wraps. Well, that's what you get for 14 quid. If you want to add roast potatoes, that's an extra 3 quid on top. Right, let's go in for it, see what it's like. It's very, very, very tasty. Turkey, stuffing and gravy. But I didn't go for the extra potatoes. That's actually quite nice. But 14 quid? Seriously? So imagine you're a family of 4. You want one of those Yorkshire pudding wraps each with potatoes. You're not going to get much change from 60 quid. Do you know what? I think it would be a better idea to just have a wander around the Christmas market and then go to one of the much better restaurants, one of the much better local restaurants on Rose Street or George Street. You'd be able to get a much better meal for probably about the same price. Coffee and donuts maybe to wash that Yorkshire pudding down, or we could have a go on the big wheel. Ooh, salt and chili chicken. Oh, I wish I'd seen that before I had my wrap. Mac and cheese fans catered for too. £10 for the big wheel, and in the shadow of the big wheel you've got all the usual German market huts with trinkets, baubles and wooden goods. More mac and cheese and even grilled salmon. I was just wondering, is it the fact that all these Christmas markets, wherever you go in the world, are all the same, that's the reassuring thing, and that's the key to their success? After all, if you go into a McDonald's in Paris, it's going to be the same as a McDonald's in London, isn't it? Maybe it's the same with these Christmas markets. You want the consistency of those German wooden huts. You want the consistency of the beer. You want the consistency of the Bratwurst sausages and the Yorkshire pudding wraps. Is that it? Is that why they're so popular? If we head down towards the National Gallery, we're going to see another huge section of German huts, shops, bars and restaurants. Actually, I do think the skyline looks pretty impressive with the big wheel, the Scott Monument and the Star Flyer XXL. What do you think? At least in this part of the Christmas market, there's quite a lot of local talent, artisans and craftspeople selling their wares from the little shops and huts. That's what we like to see. Scottish family business. Scarves, and actually reasonably priced. You know, maybe instead of the German-style huts with the wooden walls and the red roofs, maybe we should have local theming. This is Scotland after all. How about we have castle-shaped shops or bothy-shaped shops? Okay, that was the German market. Now let's head into Princess Street Gardens to see the Kiddies Fairground. This is much more my style. And of course the fairground is in the shadow of Edinburgh Castle, right next to the Ross Fountain. It's a superb location, I have to say. Let's go down and have a look. Looks like we're starting off with a family balloon ride. This one, the Matterhorn, is a lot scarier. I think this one goes at a hell of a pace. That thing is going like the absolute clappers. It's getting a bit of speed on there. And there, of course, is the beautiful Ross Fountain here in Princess Street Gardens. Absolutely gorgeous. What would I like for Christmas? Winning lottery ticket to do the trick. Now, one thing about this year's Christmas market is usually they have Santa's Grotto here in the Children's Fun Fair, but this year, for some bizarre reason, they've put Santa's Grotto over in St Andrew's Square, which is about a 15-20 minute walk from here. So again, if you've got a family and you've got kids, you want to bring them to the fairground, and then they suddenly say, come and go and see Santa Claus. Now you've got to hike halfway across the city. Who planned it? That is a beautiful carousel, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. A lot of these rides are owned by tailors of Edinburgh, and of course we saw some of these rides over the 4th in Kiddie Links Market earlier in the year. Who's for a ride on the runaway train? Have to say the fairground does look stunning down below the castle, doesn't it? This is a really good place to have it. These kiddie rides are more like £4.50 to £5 each, which feels a lot more reasonable to me than some of the bigger rides we saw earlier. Well, I spoke too soon. £7 for the Dodgems, and I guess a fairground wouldn't be a fairground without a waltzer. All right, let's leave the fairground behind. Now we're going to head up to George Street to see what's on offer there. That's where the ice rink is this year, I think. I guess there are 4 parts to Christmas in Edinburgh this year. We've seen the German market and the fun fair in Princes Street Gardens. Here we are now on George Street, the 3rd section of Edinburgh's Christmas. Ice rink and more fun fair rides. More brown German huts, more red roofs. Snowmen in a globe, and then this is the wave swinger. This is a sort of Star Flyer for chickens. Well, the seats still hang precariously on the end of chains, but the wave swinger doesn't go half as high, a fraction of the height, as that Star Flyer XXL. Well, that thing's going like the clappers as well. Maybe it's not as gentle as I thought. Our final port of call is St Andrew Square, just coming up. And to get there, we need to walk past the world-famous dome. Now, these guys had their Christmas decorations up at the beginning of October. Beginning of October, for goodness sake. Oh, just listen to me. Bah, humbug. St Andrew Square. And this part of the Christmas market is called the Festival of Kindness. Behind me is a building you'll have seen before if you've been to the Edinburgh Festival in the summer, the Piccolo Theatre, and I think that is what they're using as Santa's Grotto this year. Well, the weather's been absolutely superb this afternoon, and that's meant that the Christmas market looks absolutely stunning in the sunshine. Always better than driving rain and a little bit of wind. So what do you think of Edinburgh's Christmas market this year? Let's have a look at it in the darkness with all the lights before I deliver my verdict for 2023. So, Edinburgh's Christmas Market 2023, what do I think? Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't think my opinion of Christmas markets has changed. They're all the same German wooden huts with red roofs, the same excruciatingly high prices. And this year, Edinburgh, some of your prices are absolutely eye-watering. Do you know, a family of 4 coming to the Christmas market, going on a few rides, having a meal, having a few drinks, you're talking 200 quid plus. It is absolutely extortionate, especially during a cost of living crisis. But everybody absolutely loves them. And the only conclusion I can come to is that people just like the fun and the conformity, the fact that they are the same wherever you go, whether it's Paris, Prague, London, or Edinburgh, or Glasgow. It's all the same, and there's comfort in similarity, isn't there? Thank you so much for watching this episode of Rogvlog. If you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until the next one, remember, there's always something to see, so get out there and find it.